Okay. Do you guys have any questions? No? Are we good with leap forward? Okay. And so leap forward, like I said, it's a really cool website. Everything's on there. I tried to print everything that you're going to need. And everything that you're going to need and going to use is already in your binder. All right. So the next thing on our agenda are the reading and start results. So if you go to your binder and you go to reading hotspots, you're going to see these are the results from the reading star test last year. And basically these are the 5th grade students now. And so this is analyzing how the 5th grade students did, but also how the teachers did. So then if we go 94, 74, 86, and if we look for the lowest 3, you're going to see that they're circled for you. You have 4.11, figure 19D, 4.03, figure 19D, 42%, 48%, and then you have one more, 4.10D, 53%.
They're all good?
Right, and if you take a look at what they have in common, I went ahead and they're in your notebooks and I'm just going to read them. Understanding and analyzing of informational text, understanding of literary text, and understanding of informational and literary text, right? So they're talking about both. And then if we take a look, it's making inferences, making inferences, making inferences. Here they're making inferences about culture and history, theme and genre, and then expository. So what they all have in common is that they're all figure 19D. And so even if we ask ourselves, okay, well, what does this have to do with us? Because these students are already in 5th grade. Well, if you take a look at your next tab, the one that says Mastery Report, if you take a look at the Mastery Report, these are the students that we have now. And so if we try to find the correlation between the two, so we're obviously going to be looking for anything that says figure 19D. And there's going to be 3 of them. One of them is going to be 53% mastery. The other one's going to be at 70% mastery. And then the third one's going to be at 70.5% mastery. And so let me go ahead and switch this over so that you guys can see what that looks like in color.
And as far as knowing the question, we don't know.
We don't know what the questions are, but let me explain to you what that mastery report is. Because in reality, you could actually find out your tutoring lists from here. Alright, so if I switch it over. Alright, so if you take a look at figure 19D, it's going to be at the bottom. It's not focusing very well. Again, making inferences about text. Let me see if it's this maybe. Textual evidence to support understanding. Let's do it again. Okay, that's better. Theme, genre, poetry, and literary nonfiction. Reporting category, it's reporting category 2. Sorry, my nose are on stuff. Item count, for that specific TEK, there was only 1 question. So, yeah, we were at a 53% mastery, but that's only 1 question. If we count all of figure 19D, we're going to go ahead and go to the next page. We have 3.06 figure 19D, right here. Again, making inferences. Making inferences about text and use textual evidence to support understanding. This is on poetry. Supporting category, reporting category 2. Item count, that's 3. So 3 plus 1 is 4 questions on figure 19D. And they didn't do so bad here, 70.3%, but still, that's low. 30% of the students did not master. And if you look underneath, you see which students were the ones that did not master. And so you can find the ones that are in your class. Again, you have 2 more questions on figure 19D on that page.
You know what that means right here? 50% and 0%.
That's your, let me see. So you have your mastery here, and then you have 50%. That would be, I'm guessing 37 students that did not master. And then these are the names of the 37 students that did not meet. And then of course you have your SPED. It's broken down by SPED, by LEP, by your high mastery, those kids that did get to meet expectations. Figure 19D again. On the last page, you have another figure 19D at 77%. Again, those students that did not master. And we can go ahead and compare and contrast to the students that maybe missed one, it wasn't their day, or maybe the ones that missed them all. And here's another 3, 4, plus the additional 4, that's 8 questions. And then if we take a look at the reading hotspots just in general for 3rd grade, you have one at 59%, which is 3.13B, drawing conclusions.
3.13D.
And 3.13D, which would be use of text features. And you would think that that would be an easy one, text features, but for some reason they miss it, and that's the obvious one. Their pictures, their captions, their titles, their subtitles, and it's them trying to inference what those titles and subtitles mean. So before we go on, I'm going to go ahead and flip back while you guys look through that. I'm going to flip back because I don't want to have to run out of time later on. If you got that email that I sent, Ms. Trevino, we can start tutoring as soon as possible. Let me see if I brought it up. Here are the permission slips. And I sent those to you. They do want us to tutor from 3:15 to 4:15. And then any time during PE has to be approved by Ms. Grimaldo. I know that in the past we were used to doing conference time because it's the easiest for us. But they do want a strictly 1 hour after school. And of course, if you have a special circumstance, well then you talk to Ms. Grimaldo about it. And no snacks and no transportation. We would have to come up with the lowest group of students first. This is going to be the ones that just did not meet, or those students that we're on approaching. And then after that, after the fall benchmark, then we'll use our bubble kids. So 7 to 8 students max. You probably want the lower the better. Just because. And it's 1 weekly tutoring session. Any questions, guys?
Is there a minimum?
Is there a minimum? I believe it's 6. Right, Erika? I believe it's
Well,
6.
if it's paid for, it's going to be 5.
If it's paid, I want to say it's either 5 or 6. Years ago it was 5. It might be 5 or 6.
Is it paid for?
Yeah, but yeah, your students have to physically be there. Yeah.
So a minimum of 5.
5.
Well, we might want to confirm that because I remember it used to be 5, but
They moved, and I remember that it was 6. And she's actually recommending 7 or 8. So just
max.
yeah, max.
Because the smaller the group, the better.
The smaller the group, the better. I know that
Especially
second
with the low
semester,
kids.
once we start including our regular kids, our groups are probably 10 to 11.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Those are
even
the bubble
12.
kids.
The bubble and the low. But by second semester, we should have resource helping us out. We should have the dyslexia lab helping us out. And so those kids would go over there. And so you should be left with a smaller group. Ideally, that's what it should be. So I don't know if you guys want to go ahead and plan for tutoring now, or if you want to wait till we're done going through the instructional strategies. It's up to you. Do you want to plan it now, or you want to wait? Okay. Let me just finish this up. So the 4 strategies that I wanted to review with you guys, the first one is called, let me see if I can go through it. The first one is called 3-2-1 test review, and this is on page 25 of your instructional strategies. And so, page 25. And the reason I like this is because obviously this is something that you can use after benchmarks or after any assessment. Students will code each question with a plus sign, a check mark, or a minus sign. I got this answer correct. This was difficult, but I think I can figure it out. This was difficult, and I may have missed one question. Students analyze a graded test to evaluate where they are strong and where they need work. And so this is where the 3-2-1 come in. Select 3 difficult questions you got correct and justify why you got them correct to a friend. Select 2 questions you thought you got correct, but you missed. Correct your mistake with a friend. And then select 1 difficult question that you missed that you want your teacher to go over. And so this is a great way for your students to let you know what they just don't get. Maybe they don't get a word problem, they don't know how to multiply 2-digit numbers, whatever the case might be. This is a really good one. And so the next one is going to be on page, it's called ABC Reasoning Skills on page 26, so right on the next page. You have organize students into groups of 4, assign each student a letter A, B, C, or D, and give each a different assessment question. For the assessment question each has, students write on the back of the question why a student may have selected their assigned answer choice, even if it is the incorrect answer. And then they make possible justifications of why. Was it a careless mistake? Did they add wrong? Did they just guess? Did they stop too early? Did they mix up the concepts? And of course, this is to analyze their thinking. Number 4, students rotate their cards and their questions and continue to analyze each item. And I believe that we've done this before in like some of our trainings. My favorite one, and I think it's the next one. My favorite one is the slapdown game. And this one, again, what page is this on? 30. A lot of you may already have these little cards. Each student has a card that says A, B, C, or D. And if not, I think we can get copies for you guys if you don't. So all of my students have these little cards. And I've had them forever and they're really old. And so they have A, B, C, and D, right? And at the bottom it gives them the alternate answer choice. And so when we're going through one of our tests, they pretty much slap it down and say, okay, and then, okay, what did we get? A, well, I got B. Okay, well, why did you get B? And then we go, it's just a fun way to go through a benchmark rather than just going through it without then, manipulating anything. And so this is a really good way. They give you alternative ways to use it. Organize them into partners. Each student has an A, B, C, D card. Round 1, the worst answer, the correct answer, they justify, and they go through it like that. So I know that a lot of the 5th grade teachers use this. And then the last one is the stop, plop, and roll. And the reason I chose these 4 strategies is because you can use them when you're going over assessments. This one, I actually provided the game board for you. And so this is what the game board looks like. And so what the student would do, and this you can use for reading, you partner them up and they're going to read the reading passage. Once they're done reading the reading passage together, they trade turns. You're going to read a paragraph, I'll read a paragraph, you read a sentence, I read a sentence. After they do that, in a group, they're going to get the die, and they roll. Let's say, for example, they roll a 5. What was the most interesting detail you read from this selection? Now, the cool thing about these game boards is that the templates are online. And if you don't like these questions and you would like to change the questions, you can, according to your skill or according to the story, whatever it is that you want to do. And so it's a really cool way to go through a reading passage rather than just having them reading on their own or having them just do it with a partner. So this is an interesting way as well. And so what might be confusing about this section or about the selection? What do you know after reading the section that you did not know before? So this one's really cute as well. All right, so you have that game board available to you, and like I said, all of the templates for all of these instructional strategies are there. And then so additional strategies are the fact and fib on page 11. Fact and fib is very similar to the ABCD cards. Basically, they say fact or fib, and the kids, as you're going through an assessment again, and they think that it's a fact, they would slap down fact. If they think it's a fib or it's false, they would slap down the fib. And this is also a good way to teach them true and false, the differences between those two. You have rock and roll vocabulary on page 24, and that one is very similar to the stop, plop, and roll. Again, you need a dice. And this one's really cool, the rock and roll vocabulary, because, again, you can change it however you'd like. Rock and roll vocabulary, because it's going to have them state the meaning in your own words. So if they roll 1, they're going to state the meaning in their own words. If they roll a 2, provide a synonym for the word. If they roll a 3, provide an antonym. They roll a 4, create a quick sketch. A 5, connect to real life or to another word. And then number 6 is act it out. So again, you can use what they have here or you can change it. And this is a really good one for vocabulary. So this one's really good for the reading passage. You want to change it. And then the rock and roll vocabulary is really good for the vocabulary of the week or any other skills that you want to review with them. All right. So now we have time to plan. We can go ahead and go through our tutoring groups, dates, 7 to 8 students, approaches or did not meet, and this is where you're going to need your profile sheet. Bubble students will be included after the fall benchmark results, second semester. It's going to be on a weekly basis from 3:15 to 4:15. As soon as you get permission slips in, you can start. Tutoring sessions during PE will need to be approved by Ms. Grimaldo, and there's no transportation or snacks until second semester. So I'll just go ahead and leave it up there, and then we can go through our planning, our tutoring sheet. And let me know, do you guys need a copy of the permission slip? Or you're fine?
Yeah.
You want a copy of it?
Please.
You want to print it? Okay, let's see. Copy of the permission slip. Here, permission slips. Print. And then I'll print 5. Mr. Garcia, do you mind getting it for us? Please? Do you mind getting it for us? Alright. Let's see. And so they want our little kids. Here's a piece of paper. You want to write something down. Now let's start with the kids that did not meet. Whether they did not meet 1 or they did not meet 2, whatever the case is.
Did you get the one else printed out or no?
Was there more?
I don't know. Or several.
Let me see.
Several.
Oh, it's because it's in English and Spanish. Okay, let me see.
Is there another one?
No,
Did you
I
print
printed
something
out my
out?
profile sheet.
Oh.
That's for you. This is for you. This is there, that's for you.
We should have this saved onto our email.
Yeah, if you,
Right?
yeah, you emailed it, you should have it. So I don't know what other day. Profile sheet or student.
Profile sheets.
I brought the wrong one. I brought my student migrant. I brought the wrong one. Maybe I need to find one also. Let me see. Oh, I should have my own one. Okay.
Just because you can get my doesn't mean that somebody else
I was trying to save the freshness of it.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are easy.
Sound very full of thoughts for me.
Okay. Are you overwhelmed, Miss Johnson? No? Piece of cake, piece of pie.
So we're gonna do the what?
The profile sheet.
Not the what are you highlighting?
Are we thinking about a day?
Like the
Does it
low
have to be
ones?
all the
No,
same?
For reading. I mean, are we gonna have reading and math?
I did this.
It's only one day, yeah.
The lowest that didn't need both, and then the ones who didn't need.
I have some that doesn't need math but does need reading.
That's why I checked
That's
to
why-
make sure.
I did.
So far, that's 5.
Let me read you the email. Generic letter. Add name of the teacher and tutoring day will take place. I honestly don't think that we need a tutor on the same day. Oh, so that you can design based on your grade level accord. As far as tutoring day, you can also add the monthly. Keep in mind brothers and sisters from other grade levels and coordinate so that the parents are only doing one after school pickup a week. So that's going to be the tough part just because there's all types of clubs going on. What did you mean? Yeah. There's all types of clubs going on, so I know there's EAE on Monday, Tuesday afternoon, I don't know. Wednesday we have meetings. When do you guys have robotics? Thursdays? Let's see.
Now we have to all do it on the same day?
I honestly don't think so because we all have different things going on. They're doing robotics. You and I are doing EAE. They're also doing EAE, but I think y'all are doing it on other
I don't
days.
have EA.
You don't? Do you have EAE? On what day?
Friday, and I think we're gonna have to do it on Wednesday. There's another day.
Okay, so she has Wednesday. You have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday out. So you would have to tutor either Monday or Tuesday.
What's the one right?
And you and I are out on Monday because we have after school EAE practice, so it would have to be on
Tuesday or
on
Thursday?
Tuesday. So I don't think we all have to have the same one. She just wants us to coordinate. Say, for example, there's a brother or sister in 3rd grade. She doesn't want to have the parents come Tuesday and Thursday or Monday and Wednesday. I think that's just going to be very difficult.
That is,
Yeah.
and we can't accommodate everybody.
No, we cannot.
What's the one that just met?
Approaches.
So the agency.
Yeah, so I have, he did not meet, what is this? Reading. Okay, reading.
I'm really going, I don't know if I should do Sam, because I don't think they'll get anything done with him.
I mean, you can always leave him till 2nd semester.